All right, hey everyone, my name is Shantanu. I'm a software engineer at Backpain.io, and today I'm going to talk about how you can avoid using the syslog package if it fits your use case. So syslog is just a protocol that can be used by networked devices to send events to a central syslog server, which logs the events. And then you can mark up these events with tags, priorities, timestamps, etc. So with that, let's look at our situation. We have a simple service written in Go. It's a static binary, so it can be deployed everywhere. And it naturally emits logs. So what we want is we want to display the logs to the user. It's a standard error. And we also want to ship those logs to PaperTrail, which is our logging solution. Right? So let's look at some code that does this. So Go has a great standard library. So we're going to reach for the syslog package. And we're going to dial out to the PaperTrail URL. I'm going to be deleting that account, by the way, so don't spam the port. And then I don't care about the priority. So I've set it to 0, and I've set the tag as GopherCon 2016. If there's no error, then we wrap the writer in a multi-writer. So whatever business logic follows doesn't care about the fact that we're writing logs to standard error and PaperTrail. All right, so those are all the slides I have. Let's try demoing this. So here is the file, which is exactly can you read that? Yeah, should be fine, which is exactly as was on the previous slide, except my business logic is I'm printing out one log line every second. That's it. So let's run this. So we see there's no errors. It's writing to standard error. OK, so let's go to PaperTrail. And this is PaperTrail. And if you see the last line, it's from when I was practicing at 3:43. So we're not getting any logs right now to PaperTrail. Given the title of the talk, that's to be expected. So let's stop this and say, OK, Go didn't report an error. So maybe we've misconfigured something with PaperTrail. So let's look at the settings for PaperTrail. So this is the settings for my log destination. And one of the things you'll see is, in order to accept a TCP connection, it has to be over TLS, which may or may not be happening. So let's dig into the code and actually see what's going on under the hood. So this is the implementation for dial, for syslog.dial. And if we go down, we'll see that there's a custom writer that's being built with the parameters that are passed in, so the network connection, the remote address, the priority, and the tag. And then towards the very end, we say, OK, connect to whatever parameters were passed in. So this is interesting. Let's look at connect. So connect says, there's an internal connection under the writer, which makes sense, because now you're wrapping the writer that the syslog package is creating with the underlying connection, so which implements IO writer anyways. So if you go outside to the network as opposed to localhost, you create an empty connection, and you dial out using the net package. So that's sort of where things are going wrong, because we want to go over TLS, not over net. So we need to use TLS.dial. All right, so we can't use syslog then. OK, so there's a bunch of other packages that have run into the same issue, and there are libraries that solve this. I think sourcelog is one of them. All right, so there's two things that's happening here, right? Syslog is giving us a nice abstraction, and is doing two things for us. It's dialing out to the network, and it's creating a markup, right? It's like taking the parameters, which is our prefix, our tag, and the timestamp, and it's writing it to the wire in this function, which you can see here. All right, so instead of using another dependency, can we sort of do this ourselves, right? What do we want? We want to create a connection over TLS. That's easy. There's a TLS library. But then we sort of lose the markup, right? We don't get the timestamp. We don't get the tag, et cetera, if we just use TLS.dial. But one thing that we're already using is the log package. So instead of setting the markup in one package, we split it across two, which is the TLS package. And we set a prefix in the log package to the tag we want. And it automatically already does the timestamp and stuff for us. So if we go back here and just change this, So I'm using the empty config because that's good enough. And you set the prefix. All right, and let's run this. No errors, that's good. We're still printing to standard error. And if we go here, it's moment of truth, you can see, all right, we are already streaming logs, and it's connecting to paper trail, no problem. So what we've done is we've extracted the syslog library and accomplished what we wanted without adding any other dependencies. And TLS, if you're writing a web server or anything, you're already going to be importing it for other things. That's my talk. Thank you.